6:29 a.m. this morning, we already had 71,054 people vote early today.
Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger praised state and local officials for ensuring Hurricane Helene didn't impact the election.
We put our heads down, we did our job, and that's what people expect of us.
Raffensperger detailed the extensive steps taken to ensure election integrity.
Everything that we have done in the last 6 years has been for the voters, so they have results that they can trust.
Even as state officials work to move past Georgia's 2020 presidential election and false allegations of
test the machines beforehand, we test during, and we have audits afterwards. After all those things, then we have a new audit tool. We feel like we've done everything we can to be transparent and show the people, no matter who wins, as the Secretary often says, that's up to the voters. We're here just to report the final results.
If you want to vote absentee, make that decision today and get your request in. If you're going to vote early, take a look at your calendar and decide when you're going to vote early. And if you're going to vote on Election Day, decide what time. It's your choice, but please make a choice and figure out what your plan will be.
A record number of early votes have been cast in Georgia on Tuesday as residents headed to the polls in a critical battleground state that is grappling with the fallout from Hurricane Helene and controversial election administration changes that have spurred a flurry of lawsuits. More than 328,000 ballots were cast Tuesday, Gabe Sterling of the Georgia Secretary of State's office said on X. So with the record-breaking first day of early voting and accepted absentees, we have had over 328,000 total votes cast so far, he said. The previous first-day record was 136,000 in 2020, Sterling said. The swing state is one of the most closely watched this election, with former President Donald Trump trying to reclaim it after losing there to President Joe Biden by a small margin 4 years ago, leading Trump and his allies to unsuccessfully push to overturn his defeat. Those efforts have loomed large this year as new changes to how the state conducts elections have been approved by Republican members of the state election board, leading Democrats and others to mount legal challenges, many of which have yet to be resolved even as Election Day nears. Despite the massive turnout on Tuesday, the process appeared to go smoother this year for some Atlanta area voters who spoke with CNN. Last time I voted in the city and the lines were out the door. They only had maybe 3 people working, said Corinne Canada. So people honestly just started leaving because it was like that. Yeah, this is too long. I can't sit here and wait. I have to go back to work. But here, no, it was easy.
And I'll do my part, then I can encourage my friends and relatives. Some people need encouragement. They just stay at home and they find excuses not to vote. And I want to work to get them to vote.
Gwendolyn Adams was among the first in line to vote Tuesday.
I wanted to be the first one here, but that's okay. I'm still here, and my vote will count.
Voters who turned out had this message for the community.
I stand on the shoulders of giants, and I want to continue to be a giant for others to stand on my shoulders, representing the fact that we have a right to vote, and it is something that's important because it gives us to have our voice being heard.
Macon-Bibb Board of Elections Supervisor Tom Gillen says if you're heading out to vote, be sure to bring your photo ID. There are a handful of locations that you can head over to vote.
Are elderly or handicapped, you can't walk or can't stand too long, we're using the Superior Court Annex lobby for our elderly and handicapped voters.
Early voting ends November 1st and Election Day is November 5th.
Expected to see people out here. I'm not sure I expected a line this long.
Voters waited patiently in long lines to cast their ballots outside the Buckhead Library as early voting got underway.
I wanted to get it out of the way. Didn't want to have to wait for Election Day.
While several polling locations reported little or no wait when polls opened, turnout was heavy Tuesday morning.
I feel like this is probably the most important election of my lifetime, of our lifetimes collectively.